Do you guys want to know how to make one of the sauciest leads in Serum that I know how to make? And this is what it sounds like.
Breathe in, breathe out. That's all I can do right now.
Alright guys, so that was the sound I'll be working on today, and if you're new here, my name is Josh with the Preset Bros, and our goal is to create the sounds that your favorite artists use so you can start using them too. Speaking of high quality sounds, we do have a whole free preset Serum pack for you down below, so definitely go download that. As always guys, we're going to break this sound down into 3 steps. Step 1, we're going to focus on the tonality of the sound. Step 2, we are going to shape the sound, and step 3, we're going to polish it off with some effects. There also is a bonus step 4 that might just change your life, so be sure to stick around for that. Alrighty guys, that pretty much wraps up my intro. Let's jump in. Let's go ahead and hear that sound soloed really quick. This is what it sounds like. So a nice, awesome sound. Guys, I'm using this as a main pluck element, but you can pretty much use this anywhere. You can use it as a background pluck. You can just kind of have it as an accent. Just however you want to use it. It's an incredible, versatile sound. Alright guys, so this is the sound. And this is a sound from my Nofsky Artist Pack, which will be coming soon. If you're watching this at a later date, it might already be here, but it is pretty much a pack where I took all of my sounds from my songs that I've released over the last few years and compiled them all in one pack. So you can have the very sounds that helped me get tens of millions of streams on Spotify, along with releasing with some of the biggest record labels across Europe. So, alright guys, so kicking it off with tonality, we're going to be using oscillator A, B, and the noise, and this pretty much makes up the tonal sound. So anytime you're wanting to recreate a sound or create your own, this is where you're going to start, where you can either choose what kind of sound wave or sample or something of that nature to then build the sound from. So starting off with oscillator A, we went with the basic shapes wavetables, and we have -1 on the octave here. We have wavetable position number 2, so that is creating that saw wave there. And then we just have a little bit of FM from noise, which we'll get into later. We have the level here at 75%, and that pretty much wraps up oscillator A. For oscillator B, we also have the basic shapes wavetable. We're going with the triangle wave here, which is position number 3, -1 on the octave as well. For our warp mode, we have the PDA, and then for our level, we have it all the way down at 0%, and you'll find out why here in a bit. We also have -2 on the unison here with the detune pretty low. Next guys, for the noise oscillator, we have glass lid number 2, and the level is at 49%, the pitch is at -5 semitones, and this is kind of making up the percussive top end of the sound, just a little pop on the top, and I feel like it's a really nice top end layer to have there. I'm routing oscillator A, B, and the noise into filter 1 here, and I went with an MG low 12 here, and I have the cutoff at 57, the res is at 10, drive at 9, and fat at 26%, and that pretty much wraps up tonality. Let's go ahead and get into shaping the sound. So for shaping the sound, you have 2 sections you want to look at. You have the LFO section, and then you have the envelope section. In this case, we're going to focus on the envelope section today. So what I did here is we went with a plucky shape. So you can increase the attack just a little bit, but you don't really have to worry about this, but 11 milliseconds. The decay I have at 834, the sustain I have at -30 dB, and the release I have at 446. So just kind of something in this vein, just a nice plucky shape like that. Next, we're modulating a few parameters with envelope 1. So as you can see, we're modulating the warps right here. So warp knob for A is at 58%, warp knob for B is at 46%. Next, we're modulating the cutoff, and this is kind of the main thing that it's modulating, and what happens is when the note hits, it kind of whips open those frequencies. So if I pull this back like this, and then we were to play the sound, so it's really low, but the second I open this up, see how it just kind of opens up that sound? So that's pretty much everything that's being modulated and affected by envelope 1 on the front page. The rest of the things are in the effects section, so let's go ahead and jump back there and see what's going on. Don't forget to check that mono button as well. So here's the effects section, and before we get into all these effects, let's go ahead and wrap up what the modulation was for envelope 1. So back here I'm modulating two things. I'm modulating the drive knob here at 85%, and then I'm also modulating the second cutoff knob for our second filter at 68%, and that's pretty much it. Alright guys, kicking off the effects, I started with a compressor here, and I just have the threshold at negative 18.1. It's on single mode, and that's pretty much it. Next I went with some distortion. I went with the tube setting, and I have the drive all the way down, but that's because I'm modulating it with the envelope 1, which is whipping this knob up every time a note hits. I have the mix knob at 100%. Next, I have an EQ here, and I'm just dipping out a frequency around 223 hertz, and I think it was kind of the boomy range. I can increase this, and we can take a listen. So you can hear that kind of boomy frequency there. Next, I am boosting a high shelf right here, 3,716 hertz by 3 dB. Next, I have a little bit of hyperdimension. I'm not using the hyper section, but I am using the dimension just a little bit. I have the size at 14, the mix at 18. Next, guys, I have another filter here, and the reason I have a second filter is I feel after adding some distortion and some other things, it can add some additional harmonic frequencies. So by adding this filter after, it just kind of dials in the sound a little more. I can go ahead and pull this off, and we can listen to it. And then this is with the filter activated. See how it just kind of gets rid of some of that extra brightness and buzz there? So I felt that sounded really good. I have my cutoff knob at 68 hertz, and then the modulation from envelope 1 is at 68%. Next, guys, I'm finishing the sound with a little bit of reverb and delay. For the reverb, I just have it on the Hall setting, the size at 35, the decay at 4.4 seconds, and then the mix at 25%. Next, I have the ping pong delay 1818 there, the feedback at 40, and then I'm just kind of isolating some of those lower frequencies, and then I have the mix knob at 29%. And that pretty much wraps up all the effects. Let's jump into the bonus tip. Alright guys, so for the bonus tip, what I wanted to show you is kind of what I'm doing here with this macro right here. So this is macro number 4, and I'm modulating a few things: the decay, the sustain, and the release here, the cutoff here, and then I'm also modulating the cutoff here. So the cutoff here is 13, cutoff here is 12, but more importantly, these knobs right here, which is the decay, I'm doing that by 14%, the sustain by 85, and then the release by 18. And I do want to show you that modulation. So here's the modulation here, and as you see the knob over here, as this increases, you can hear what happens. So I have the auto filter off, and then this endless smile off, and let's just listen to what happens to the sound. You can see how the notes start to get a little longer, a little brighter, the sound gets more interesting, and I like to do this with my build-ups. And if you couple that with an auto filter and then a little bit of endless smile, which for anybody that doesn't know what endless smile is, it's like an incredible reverb slash just a lot of things. It cuts some of the lows out, and it's a great like build up riser plugin. So this is my modulation on the endless smile, and then this is my modulation on the auto filter here, just going from 190 hertz all the way up to the top with a little bit of bend, and then the final result is this. So as you can see here, guys, when we take all those elements and we put them together, you just have that nice smooth buildup. Everything kind of comes together really beautifully to provide a nice foundation for your song to grow into a drop. So now that you have a nice, beautiful analog lead for your drop and even your buildup, you probably need a nice analog bass to go under it. Go ahead and watch this video if you want to learn how to make that. Peace.